Relief. You two take care of labor.
Wow. Oh yeah, I had an intro and I was thinking about it. Now I forgot. Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot.
Nice.
Welcome to
We're
the
off to a
Basement
good start.
CRT TV podcast, episode 6. It is October, which means it is Halloween season, which means
Spooktober, baby.
this is the Halloween episode, which means our guest is the one and only legendary Kronk. Sometimes
The victim of slander.
he goes by, yeah, whatever, buddy. On this podcast, we try to victim blame, so
Hell yeah.
keep it up. We hate victims. For legal reasons, that's a joke. And for legal reasons, Rob said that.
I didn't say for starters. For starters, I didn't say
So yeah. It is October, spooky season, you know, all the people that love spookiness, you know, they're getting their jam on, even though Halloween is completely and totally overrated.
You shut your mouth.
But if you argue with me on that, then you are wrong. And if you'll notice, hopefully if you're watching this, that means you will have watched what came before. For this month, we did something a little bit different. Obviously, we have this podcast episode, but we played a Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu.
The Lightless Beacon, which is
a one-shot named The Lightless Beacon, ran by our one and only.
Yep, it was a pre-written module, and these guys, with the exception of Kronk, have never played Call of Cthulhu before. So I figured, what a better theme for a scary episode than a scary tabletop game, which is my expertise is tabletop, and that's just the way it is. The Lightless Beacon followed a group of 3 investigators who were marooned on a lighthouse island with strangeness afoot. They had to figure out how to get out. That live play had some really, really fun things. But first of all, would you like me to tell you guys literally everything that was important that you missed, that you could have found?
Screw it, sure.
And I need to know one thing. Could we have made fish sticks?
Yeah, actually, you could have not made fish sticks. You could have killed them. But it's worth noting that Rob found the 6 revolver bullets, and Sam found the revolver that was on the federal agent, by the way.
That guy was a federal agent?
He was a federal agent who was undercover as a lighthouse attendant on the island because...
We need to get one thing clear. A rowboat oar, in my hands, was more effective than a gun in Rob's.
This is true.
Yeah, no, I tried to shoot it twice, and the first time I missed, and the second time I got the worst possible roll you could get.
And jammed the gun.
Yeah.
Not even just jammed. It blew up in my hands. You took it away from me.
I did. You could have... There was actually another gun. There was a Colt M1877 in the top of the lighthouse. That's why I had you make a spot hidden at the end, Rob.
I see.
It's because you could have found another gun. That dude also had a ton of gold coins on him. And under one of the beds in the bedroom, you're not supposed to put this in the adventure, but I put it in because I figured to make it more fun at the end. There was a .30 bolt action rifle under a bed that was in the bunk room, which you guys never went into.
So what you're saying is if we actually explored the place a little bit more than just immediately leaving.
Yep. Also, it didn't matter, which I found really funny, but the humming, mechanical sounds of the generator, was it, dying? And you guys never fixed it, which never mattered, because you guys didn't try to, call for help or fix the lighthouse, which are 2 options you can do. Is, if you fix the lighthouse, they encourage you to make the power go out the moment you fix it, if they didn't fix the generator. Yeah. And if you get the radio working, you kill the power the moment they get the radio working because they didn't fix the generator. Either way, the fishmen descend upon you after that. So you guys didn't really care about the power.
I want to almost back up a little bit.
Sure.
I don't even know. It was funny because obviously we kind of knew a little bit about each character, from outside of playing the game. But in game, none of our characters knew anything about each other.
Yeah.
No, you guys were just marooned survivors in the situation.
Yeah. Basically, my character was homeless. You know, he kind of got into some stuff. He was basically shoved into a crate that was brought onto the boat. He wakes up on the boat, and like the boat police are trying to get him. And that's why when you guys picked him up, he just started swinging because he thought it was the police dragging him out of the water again.
There's a part of me that was tempted to go around and shove you off the boat, and I'm like, nah, I won't do that. I won't do that.
That's so funny.
You did the next worst thing, which was leave us to die.
You said run! This is my pirate software moment. This is my pirate software moment.
So that's something I'm like, me as Jaxon, I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to just wake up and punch Sam in the face. Well, maybe I do a little bit.
That's a total.
But in character, he thinks the police guy's still chasing him, so he just feels himself get dragged onto a boat, and he's like, "Oh, they got me."
Yeah.
What's wild about that?
Like I'm not going down.
Is that 3 damage made the difference?
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
He said of a bit.
Like,
Son of a gun.
because in the end of the day, Arthur Lee, the marine biologist, became a victim of that which he loves most, fish.
Well, because I had a backstory. Because my guy was he was a medic on a naval ship during World War One, and calm himself whenever he thought there was U-boats. He actually he started teaching himself about marine biology to like calm himself, be like, "Oh, that's not a U-boat, that's a sturgeon or whatever." And then after the war, he got his doctorate in marine biology, just to get punched by a homeless man and then eaten by a fish.
That's true.
Yeah.
So true.
Oops. Hey, that's my bad. You know, maybe while you were dragging me out of the water, you should have just announced, "I am not the police."
What's
It's-
crazy
it's
is the fact that you hit him for the most damage you possibly could.
Yeah, you maximized
Yeah.
your damage. Thank God you didn't
That's
have a damage
also-
bonus. If you had a damage bonus,
Imagine he just knocks him out, kills him on the spot. We drag this
Yeah, that's the other
psychopath
thing is-
out of the water, and then what we're greeted with is him killing the guy who dragged him out, and I've got to 1v1 him on the boat and then go do all the spooky shit myself.
That'd be such
So that
a
was
funny
the other
alternate
funny
timeline.
aspect is I had to like play not how I thought things should happen, but play how I think he would think things would happen.
and you know what? It
And
ended up-
he's like, yeah, he's like right away. He's like, dude, we gotta leave the island. Blah blah blah. There's something going on, and then these two guys are like way more calm about it for some reason. You know, then we get to the boat. I start untying things, and I see these weird fish guys attacking. I'm like, well, he's homeless. You know, I'm not going to assume anything about the homeless, but you know, he knows how to scrap, and he knows that you know they're stronger
That's
together.
crazy.
So his priority shifted from escaping to I gotta help
because
bro
he's
out, bro that I
What was-
punched earlier.
Oh yeah, by the way, about that, what was really funny for me is watching as I'm like, they're gonna die here. Like I'm like, there's 2 ways to get out of this, and it's to escape or to run. The fish, I'll share a fun fact. They had armor, they had 3 armor, which means if you failed to do more than 3 damage to them, you did no damage to them.
And the next
How much
thing
health
you do
did
is
they have?
30. That's
They had
crazy.
each of them, according to this, had 11 HP.
So how much damage did I do to the one fish? Because I hit it 3
You
times.
hit it 3 times. I think you did probably like 8, but actual damage you did like 2.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I had to give you the hint where it's like you feel like you're only slowing them down.
You know, as soon as we
It's because
Yeah, so once that happened, I'm like, yeah, we gotta go. You know, I said run. You know, in the moment, I was thinking more like run, but you should help us run away.
this is
And then I
worth
saw-
noting.
The raid leader calls run, and I ran. The raid leader
This
calls
is-
run, and I ran. Okay.
This is also worth noting. Sam actually did a ton of damage with the eye stab maneuver because the game specifies that if you call a shot to the eyes or the underbelly, specifically, you do full damage
yeah.
because their back
Also-
has thicker hide.
Funny thing about mine is I don't know if it was actually better, but I'm like, I want to take this ore. This is something I can swing.
It had a 1 more damage average because fists do 1d3. That did 1d4. So you were looking at like the possibility of doing 1 more.
My thought cinematically was that like, if they're like lunging, I can like put that in their mouth,
Yeah, and hold them back.
Curb stop them.
Because I don't want to really punch a fish. I would rather swing at a fish.
No, that's funny because I know enough about Lovecraft and Call of Cthulhu. Is like, oh, it's definitely gonna be fish people hybrids. But you mentioned the webbed feet, and I'm like, no, I have to run with this being a giant duck. That's so funny in my head.
This whole time,
it's so funny in my head. Just a giant carnivorous duck. I was like, there's no way. I was like, there's no way it's not Fishman. But the idea of a giant carnivorous duck running around this island is just too funny to pass up.
Which it gets even funnier because the story behind this game is actually wild, by the way, because literally like the lighthouse went out for like a little bit a month ago or like 2 months ago in game. It was a while ago, and when the lighthouse went dark, a ship kind of crashed in the rocks. That's what you guys were getting caught on at the start, like the metal.
I was gonna ask him like, what the heck?
And that ship was transporting Innsmouth gold, which Innsmouth is like a weird, freaky town of people that worship a fish god in the Lovecraft universe. And when this happened, the lighthouse keeper found the gold and was like, "I'm rich. I'm gonna be wealthy." So he started sending letters back to like the coast, being like, "I have found all this gold and I wanted it praised." He was told not to contact Innsmouth, and he specifically contacted Innsmouth, I believe. He like reached out to them, and because he did, they sent Deep Ones and Deep One hybrids to get the gold back. Which the Deep One hybrids you guys never found. Rob kind of saw them a little bit, but the corpses at the top of the lighthouse, there were 3 corpses. 2 of them were Fishman hybrid people. Like they looked like humans, but they had a weird skin condition going on. And then a bunch of baby fishmen. Well, what happened was the lighthouse keeper posted with a pump and killed the 2 like dudes, and because the little fish babies lost their like keepers, they were just wandering the island. Like they're dumb. They were looking for the gold. The reason 2 of them chased Rob is because he had a coin on him.
I knew I should have tossed that shit.
It was the coin that I gave him.
Yep. You bastard.
Oops. It was funny because you didn't even go like, yeah, I take the coin from him. I just went, yeah, I pawned it off to him.
Rob made every right choice because in my head, if he tried to hide, they would have been able to find him. They would like, I would have probably rolled, but they would have probably like busted down the door and just killed you because they knew you had the coin.
So no matter what, they weren't coming after Sam and I if we got on the boat successfully?
No. If you were all on the boat and it was super easy for you, like let's say you flawlessly passed the checks and were sailing away, I might have had one of them pursue just to keep the tension up, like end of Devil and Me type stuff, right?
Out of curiosity, wouldn't that be like a super quick game if we just ran to the boat, we both successfully untie the ropes, and none of us have a coin, and we just get on the boat?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it just be like
this one can be done in an hour, but like the thing is, the moment you try to leave, the fish will attack you anyways. They just in my head they would pursue someone with gold because that's their only purpose is to find the gold coin. Technically they're mindless. They're not very smart. They just attack. That's why they never tried to dodge. They were always fighting back.
So what was the blood puddle I found in the kitchen?
Oh, there were 3 lighthouse keepers. One of them was a Fed undercover. And he was undercover because he thought the guy who had the gold was a part of a smuggling operation, right, on the island. So he was just there to investigate something completely different. And he got caught in the middle of it all. You could have found a letter that he was writing, like a handout where he was really suspicious. Like the lighthouse keeper was really suspicious of one of his people he's working with. And that was like, you're supposed to think, oh, he was going insane because of the gold. But in reality, a Fed was spying on him. And the last guy, a dude named Smith, who the game only mentions bailed immediately. Like, Smith left. He took one of the boats and left. And then the next day, shit hit the fan. The lighthouse went out because there was a firefight in the lighthouse, and, like, the main thing was shot, and it went out completely. So when it went out 15 minutes before you guys arrived, shit hit the fan. And you guys show up to a quiet island.
Is this a well-known story? Like what we just did?
this is a beginner module. So this is like, there's 2 beginner modules. One's called the Haunting and one's the Lightless Beacon. And I walked you guys through the Haunting or the Lightless Beacon, which is like a newer one than the Haunting. So it's pretty popular. And then I'll say this one is played a lot at conventions and stuff because it's so short.
Do you know what the average ending of this module is?
So the ones
does everyone die? Does everyone get out? Does everyone find whatever?
The most popular ones online that I was able to find when I was doing research into this game is people holding up in the lighthouse for a last stand with like guns and stuff, or escaping on the South Pier boat, which is like, you know, kind of, you guys got both, funnily enough. You got both simultaneously.
Rob with the most cinematic, anti-cinematic ending of all time.
Yeah, it's like those are the ways the game usually ends. Your options for getting out at the end is you can fix the radio. Like there's different kinds of endings. Like if you fix the radio, you can call the Coast Guard and then they might show up and like add a few NPCs who come in and help you guys kill the fishmen. If you fix the lighthouse, a passing ship might come to notice you and help you get off. If you do none of those things, there's always the boat on the South Pier that can get you off the island. And if you were able to actually save the boat at the start, you always have the escape on the North Dock as well.
What was the soonest possible death?
The soonest possible death was after, the game encourages you to build up tension, and then once people start to either be like, we gotta leave now, or once a body is discovered, that's when you have the fishermen become like an actual thing.
A body is discovered.
So I had a hybrid because Sam found the body and then you guys were like, we gotta go. So I was like, okay, well, this is easy enough. I'm going to funnel them towards the South Dock because the fishermen are going to follow them. And then that's the ending that they'll go for. And then when Rob ran away, I was like, okay, I'll come back to him. Because
when I was in the kitchen and I'm like, yeah, I look out the window. Were you planning for the fish guy to run by, or did you do that because I specifically said?
So that happened twice in the game, and you guys didn't notice the first one. The first one happened while Rob was looking at the painting, and I described as he looked up at the window, down at the painting, up at the window, down at the painting. And he like, it was like a mix of like the painting had the fishman, and in real life the fishman wasn't there. In game on the map, I moved the fishman by the window at that point. So if Rob happened to be looking, he would have seen that.
I was looking inside.
Yep, and the other one was down by the window, which it was funny because you joked about like, oh, he's gonna have him move by the window, and in my head I was like, yeah, you're absolutely correct. I had that plan from the start. I was like, I'm gonna have that happen to build up tension and make it spooky, and if they're paying attention, they'll see it. And yeah, the second one, I improvised on the spot because I kind of had Sam see a fishman in the woods, so he'd go into the thicket because I didn't want him to regroup with you guys. I wanted him to find the body.
Yeah, and then, dude, when I'm like, yeah, this homeless guy, you know, he's seen some stuff, but he knows, you know, blood on the ground, that ain't good. Bad. So he's like all frantic, you know. He's like, where's the other guy? Rob's like, I don't know. We go outside, we meet up with Arthur, and Arthur's like, so yes, I've located a dead body with these wound marks. And my guy the whole time is like, we gotta go.
Yeah, it was like a classic. It was really funny the way that played out. And then I wasn't bluffing. I was killing your character if you failed that second swim check.
That most clutch roll of my life.
A critical one when you needed it most is crazy.
Well, because I was like, oh, untie the boat. And then I'm like, oh, they can swim. The water's where they come from. I'm not jumping into the boat. I'm like, gotta defend bro. Then bro died, and I saw 2 run into the island, and 1 take Sam's body. I'm like, okay, well, the island has 2. Sam's 1 is being occupied. I guess I gotta jump for it now. And by that time, you were like, okay, 4 turns have gone by. The boat's pretty far away. You would either have to make a miraculous jump or a miraculous swim. I'm like, okay, well, I got pretty good jumping, so I'll jump. Oh, I failed. You're like, okay, you gotta swim. I'm like, so this is like the last check I get to do? You're like, yep. I'm like, well, here goes nothing. Because my swim was worse than my jump. Like, my swim, to pass, I needed a 20 or lower.
Oh,
so I'm like, this sucks.
Also, I just realized I was using the wrong damage block for the younglings, the little fishmen.
They were doing more or less.
They did less because I was using there's 2 stat blocks on here. There's one for a deep one hybrid, which the game does say like, hey, if you want, you can throw one of the fishmen hybrid people there if you really want to, and it gives you stats for them. They only do a D3 seemingly. An unarmed strike. Yeah, 1D3. The Fishman does 1D3 plus 1D4, so Sam would have died earlier and Rob would have been dead probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oops.
yeah, you were like, okay, you get one more roll. I'm like, well, here goes nothing. And then I rolled a critical one. I'm like, let's go. I think like even in the moment I started cheering.
Dude, yeah, you did, because it was really exciting. That's the shit that's awesome. Is when it's like do or die. You either f up or you don't. You have 2 options.
I also like I wasn't exactly like comfortable yet, because I'm like, I have a feeling he could be like, yeah, there's like 500 in the water. You ain't getting home.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the point of calls that you're never supposed to be certain. I would say on average, someone dies almost like 50% of the games. We usually have.
I think this is actually the first time I've had a call character die.
Yeah, no, this is Sam's first call death.
Oh, what? I thought you said every game Sam died.
No, Sam dies in D&D games. Sam has lived in every call game.
So Sam died because I punched him in the mouth.
Kinda. I know that in our call games we've had Chris die, Alexa has died, and Matthew has died. And now Sam joins them.
Rest in peace.
But it was like
I didn't know what to expect, but it was like it was like longer and shorter than I thought. It's just kind of weird to say.
Yeah, like it was going along for a while. There was a point where you guys were in that, like Rob and you were in the house, and I looked at the clock and I was like, ooh, this might go a little later than I planned. But I think once the finale kind of started to kick in, it was like, go, go, go. And then once Rob was the last one left, it was like, does he live or die? We'll find out now.
And yeah, I was so convinced it was going to be the big duck man.
The big duck man.
That would have been great. Honestly, that would have been great.
Three little 4-foot tall fishmen. Like, what the heck?
God, no, and there's so many other weird things. Like in the kitchen, you could have found a knife if you looked for it.
Dang.
The bunk room, you could have found another note, which would have been a note from the federal agent, like talking about being suspicious of the guy. You could have found the gun, which I planted there, because I wanted to give you guys a 3rd firearm, so all 3 of you could potentially have a weapon, right? Like, there's 2 in the game. There's the revolver, and then there's the gun that Cassidy had, who was the lighthouse keeper. And I'm like, I should just put a 3rd, like a rifle that they keep under the bed for dangerous situations type thing. And that one was findable. I believe I made it a hard spot hidden, so if you were in the bunk and you rolled a hard spot hidden, found it.
No joke. If somehow I was the only one alive and had the gun and I was being like cornered,
just shoot yourself.
I was gonna have him. I was gonna be like, wow. You would have missed.
Actually, a common ending for Call of Cthulhu characters, believe it or not.
Just killing yourself to not have to endure the wrath of the monster.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Or losing enough sanity that becomes the first option. No, there's some other funny stuff. Like when you guys made your characters and I was reading through the module, I was like, man, there's a lot of mechanical or electrical repair checks, and these guys have none of that. It's like, can you fix the lighthouse? Can you fix the radio? Can you fix the boat? Can you fix the generator? I'm like, they're gonna fail every one of those rolls.
Yeah, when you said generator, I was gonna be like, I was almost gonna be like in character, be like, dude, are we gonna be dead by daylight?
That would have been hilarious, by the way. That would have been so funny.
I probably would have broken character to tell you to shut up.
Dude, it would have been a classic blunder. No, I will say though, was there a point during that where you guys like because playing Call of Cthulhu, it's supposed to be different from D&D in the fact that the vibe is meant to be a little more creepy, a little more like oh, I feel uncomfy right now. Was there ever a point during the game where you actually started to feel that, or were you guys cold bastards? You felt no.
I think I was fine for the most part. I don't think I was like too creeped out. Like I was into the vibe of it's supposed to be a little spooky, but I didn't really feel super tense in the way. Just because I think it's because I know it was just like a one off, one and done.
Right, like so, if you were playing more regularly, you also probably were like, if I die, I die.
Yeah, that's kind of another thing.
Yeah, when I was going down the hallway with no light to the 3 doors, that was probably the most like. That was the most like. This is a really stupid decision, but I chose it, so I gotta stick with it.
Yeah, Sam is such a vet. He knew immediately. And I'm like, you could go check it. He's like, yeah, I'll go check it alone. he's like,
yeah. Well, that's why at the beginning when you're like, roll a sound check, and I rolled a 1, which is crazy. I rolled 2 1s, and
I gave you more than I was supposed to give you because you rolled a crit success. I'm just supposed to be like, yeah, you hear the sound of like machinery. If you rolled a 1, I straight up said generator, which like you're only supposed to get that when you get to the room.
Yeah, I guess I didn't even like catch that, but in my mind, I'm like, I feel like this doesn't do much for me, you know?
Yeah,
I'm like, I'll go if you guys go, but then they were like, yeah, we're good.
Going
like,
behind the house.
Okay.
There was also a work shed, which you guys didn't enter. The work shed had tools like you could have used to repair stuff, like a toolbox, whatever. And I decided to put it there where if you rolled a luck check, you could find varying weapons of improvised nature. Like it's one of the things where I'm like, I'll put like a hatchet in there, like a fire axe, right? And I think the best thing you guys could have gotten is if you rolled a luck check and got like 10 or lower, like some crazy number like that, I would have given you a sledgehammer. Like
I
a
had
big,
the
heavy...
Ore of Destiny.
Yeah. I mean, all things considered, you guys were getting out of there with... I thought maybe you wouldn't find the gun. There was a moment where I was like, they're not going to have a firearm, and they're not going to find a corpse until they're at like the top of the lighthouse, and that's when the fishermen are going to come, and it's going to be bad.
So actually, the funniest part was... I kind of thought that the boat was not an escape. So when we found it, and you're like, oh, the 3 fish guys showed up. I'm like, okay, this is the warm up, encounter in preparation for the real one. And then when, I hit him, you're like, oh, 4 damage. I'm like, okay, no, not bad. And you're like, yeah, it attacks Sam. It does 4 damage. I'm like, wait a minute. Sam has 9 health. I'm like, oh,
we're not.
I'm like, we're gonna die. Yeah, that was the most like, oh, we could die here very easily.
I know, and what's even funnier about it is watching Sam and being like, well, now that they will target the most injured person first. Like, that's what they're gonna do if they have to choose between 2 people. Because they're dumb animals. They're going to target who they think they can kill.
And Sam was already injured.
Yes. I wonder why. I wonder why. The guy with the most health out of our party taken out by some homeless dude swinging on him after saving his life. I wonder.
And
I was thinking. I
didn't really think that after he punched me because I know how Call of Cthulhu goes. I'm like, watch, that's going to be what ends up getting me killed.
I'm like, dude, I was thinking about myself, like, dang, I did 3 damage. That's like a quarter of his health.
Yeah.
What the heck, dude?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I did research into this scenario because people modify it. Like, people will add their own stuff to like not make it more dangerous, but just because they got creative ideas. Like, and one of them that I did not, I partially listened to. Because the game is supposed to open with you guys just already being on the lifeboat, already on your way to the island. I was like, I'd like to throw in a little scene where you kind of establish why they're in that scenario. Because obviously you read the thing and it's like, oh, the boat's sinking, so they put you on the boat and ship you off. I was like, I can show that the boat is sinking and show the panic and introduce their characters to each other that way. And the funniest thing is the guy who had that advice said, yeah, and in the first part of the game when I ran it, I had like a big storage crate fall and crush someone. And like they had to make a check. I was like, that would have been ape crazy. If I'm like, as you guys are chilling, you watch a woman get smashed by a storage crate, make a sanity check, like cold opening the game with that would have been insane. And I would have done it that way. I'm not gonna lie, I would have made it a bad shipwreck if we had more than like 2 hours at most.
So were our 3 the only survivors of said shipwreck?
Technically, yes. And this is really by the way. But my headcanon of what happened to the others is they tried to make it to the island and they got. They either fell into the water and sunk or the fishmen got them. The big ship did make it to the island. It made it to Beacon Isle. Like at the end, the ship that saved Rob.
Yeah.
It was because the storm started to let up and the guy who said, hey, we're gonna loop back around, he did.
The metal didn't get him?
No. Well, it's because, as I said, they were being more careful now that they knew the lighthouse was out. So they sent a little rowboat out, and the rowboat arrived and got you guys out.
So could we have died to the metal?
No. What could have happened there, and what I would have done to you. Actually, technically you could have, but I wouldn't have been so mean to do it to Sam. Sam's like the only one that could have died there at that point. Because if you had tried to like push the roll, I might have had it so you flip fall and get like caught under the water. Like the metal could have tipped, like you could have gotten pinned underwater, and then you would have had to make like checks to get out. And the only person I probably would have died there is like Sam because he was already injured. Anyone else
hey, Sam?
could have been fine.
Yeah. I've been slandering you for months on the podcast, and I kind of got you killed. Yeah. I'll hit you with a my bad.
I also think one of my favorite parts of like watching you guys play, one of the top 3 parts, was when I was like, yep, the boat's caught on metal and the dock is like 15, 20 feet away. And I just heard Jaxon go, what? Are we dead already? Like, are we screwed?
He's like, because I'm like, you're making it very clear that the water is dangerous.
Which it is.
Because I'm like, okay, I swim and I freaking get impaled, or we just sit here and the storm gets bigger and then we sink.
Yep.
What the heck?
And you guys were at a point where like you were at like low, you could touch where you were at. So I was like, if they fail the strength check, then they get swept. Like what that was is if you failed the strength check, you get swept deeper. Like the water pulls you out instead of pushing you in. And then you have to make a swim check. And if you fail that swim check, I mean, yeah, you can drown. But I was never going to kill anybody doing that because the adventure had just started. Odds are I would have had you drift away and you would have washed up like further down the side of the island where the body was. So you would have like you guys would have been like, well, like Rob's dead. He drifted into sea and he's dead. And then you would have gone to explore the house and I would have cut to Rob coughing up water on like the shore. Forcefully separated. But that's
funny. We skipped so much because my character was in such a panicked state.
That's a justified reaction, though. Like, it's not even like, oh, they skipped stuff because they were just being afraid and trying to leave. I'm like, you found blood on the floor. There's no one here. You found bullet holes in the ground. For all you knew, one of the lighthouse keepers went crazy and just shot everyone.
I will say that's kind of what I was expecting initially.
And that's what's really funny is that can happen. There are Call of Cthulhu pre-written adventures that seem supernatural, and then the threat is like a schizo murderer.
It's your abusive dad.
Like a Michael Myers-esque villain. And this one was Fishman.
Yeah. I don't know why. It was the duck image was put into my head. So I just so badly thought it was going to be a duck monster. And then it was fish.
Yeah, I know. I do have a question for Sam, as being the only one who didn't survive.
Yeah.
Were there any, in the end, feelings of what you should have done? Was there any what could have been? Did you have any wishes that you didn't do before you died?
Nah, I tend to take that on the chin.
So as it jumped on you and you knew it was over, your first thought was just, well, that's it. Curtains.
Yeah, I think honestly, my character's probably only big regret would be that he wasn't able to be the one that cataloged and like was able to name the creatures and be like, hey, this is a thing that exists. Isn't that up?
Yeah, dude. It is poetic that you died to your favorite thing. The thing that used to calm you down during the war murdered you in the darkness.
And that's the funniest part, is I punched the guy in the face, I tried to save him, and I never learned his name.
My favorite part about that is it wasn't the Germans that killed him, it was fish.
Yeah.
And statistically proving that fish are worse than Germans.
Then there's Brian O'Brien, who had probably the most horror movie chase of the game. Running. How
about starting it off? How about starting it off with the gun?
That was hilarious.
The gun blows up. I'm like, hey, let's run. But, you know, kind of in a you should help us way. He runs, and then we got cornered. No joke. I'm like, if I get out of this, I'm going to kill myself.
In the wise words of Pirate Software, the raid leader called a run, and I ran, okay?
Wild.
and like running past the generator room, I've physically recoiled from my computer when you were like, yeah, I go there, I gotta get into the lighthouse. And I'm like, he doesn't know this is a shed. It's like
you said it was the lighthouse.
It is. It's because you're supposed to see. It is a little offshoot building on the lighthouse. You opening that door and thinking this is the lighthouse is perfect sense. It was just funny watching you open it. And I'm like, it's a small generator room. And the moment the door opens, you can see how it connects. And I guarantee you were like, no.
Well, I was just like, I opened it, I'm like, damn. And then it's time to book it to the next spot.
Yep. And then the luck check to open that door, which, closing the doors gave you like a turn action in my mind, and being stuck at something would have delayed you. They were slower than you. Like the younglings' speed, I do not believe. Truth be told, I didn't really look at it during that. I just thought they were smaller, and in my head it made sense. Let's actually check that live right now to see if they should have caught you early or not.
Also fish, you know, probably not as efficient on land.
Well, that was my assumption. Like I made multiple assumptions that Rob would be able to like outrun them more or less.
I was also, like I said,
they had a move of 8, so I was right. They were slower than Rob by a little bit.
Like I said, I was also so convinced. I was so convinced that those three were like not it, and that like the whole island was just like overrun with them. Yeah, or at least like the water.
So the game encourages you to have them. The game like basically encourages you to have the party of investigators face off against an amount of deep ones equal to their numbers. So like theoretically, if we have 3 investigators, you can handle 3 youngling deep sea creatures, right?
Yeah.
If you guys dealt with them easier, the game also encourages you to just throw hordes. Like if you guys were like armed to the teeth and you killed them easily, having more show up was so fine. And in my version of the game, because I'm running on a time crunch, if you killed all 3 of them, I was gonna have a big one show up, like the big deep ones, which they have like 3 attacks and do 1d8 damage. So they would be bad.
Holy
That's a bad
crap.
thing to show up. But it was very funny watching, like, as I love the new player thing, like Jaxon being like, I'm punching him. I'm waking up and I'm punching the first person I see. And Sam was still happy. Like, I don't think he fully registered in that moment what that meant for him. Because Sam was like, oh, I got a critical success on my medicine check on Jaxon. This is so nice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think the closest would be the guy who medicine checked him.
Yeah, and then you just kept you kind of kept going. I'm like, I feel like I should clarify I'm not swinging anymore.
Yeah.
Once I realized they weren't policemen.
Yep. Well, I just tried was like, you punched him once, and then he tried to punch you back, and he failed. So I was like, that probably doesn't look good to Jaxon. But it was it was very fun to watch you guys go through it and watching you guys figure out how you were gonna live. And they do tell you stuff like if it was a longer game, there's stuff for you guys to find like on the shore and stuff. But it was short and it was sweet, and I actually will say I enjoyed running it. I thought it was fun to run. I give it a big ol' recommend from a DM perspective. Everything is laid out super easily. A little hard to navigate sometimes, but like I could search for almost anything and find it.
Especially with the most crazy finale like that.
Yeah, which is like I am in my element when I'm improvising, to be honest. I think that's where like I can improv really fast. So when Rob split from the group, I was like, I'm gonna cut from him and I'll come back to him and he'll get like a final girl chase. Regardless of what happens with Jaxon on the dock. Like Jaxon is getting his last stand right now. He rolled the crit 1. He swam away. He got through the worst of it. Now Rob had to suffer because I was not gonna let you just run away and live that easily.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Time, but you know what?
Watching you the whole time. Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's dead. And then you guys just like kept missing. On like missing each other, but it just kept doing like such a small amount of damage to each time. I'm like, surely there's no way he lives, right? And then you somehow lived with 1 health. I'm like, that's crazy.
So, yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, when I realized I was on my own, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I can, like, go to the lighthouse and barricade, like, the stairs in or something. I thought there would be, like, a door, and then there wasn't. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm just exploring now. We're just doing this for cinematics.
Yeah, we're running away. And all things considered, that was not a bad ending for your guys. You only lost Sam.
It was cinematic. It was so unfortunate.
The final fury when I got up there, when I was like, okay, I'm gonna dodge, and then they're gonna lunge at me, and then they're both gonna fall off, but only one of them did that.
Yep. The other one was like, I was like, you're gonna have to kill this guy. I gave you 1. Oh, also, if you guys are fighting the younglings and you critically fumble an attack with the revolver, another thing I can do instead of breaking it is have you shoot an ally. And I really didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's what I was worried about. When he's like, yeah, I walk over here and I aim at this one. Like, I'm in the cardinal direction of that.
That's like,
how would you have felt, Jaxon, if I was like, he shoots and you take a headshot and die instantly?
I would walk to your house and kill you IRL.
You have, what, 9 health, Jaxon?
Yeah.
Yeah, the revolver could just one-shot you.
Oh my gosh. I actually don't think I got hit once or took a single bit of damage.
I was tempted to Little Hope you, by the way. To Little Hope you and Rob.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I was tempted to have it so that Sam gets the gun, and he has the gun, and then he hears a sound from the trees and hears you guys yelling for him. And I'm like, what do you do, Sam? And if he turned and shot at the sound, he'd hit one of you.
Bro.
I was tempted to do that, but I decided it'd be nicer to just have them regroup. Have you guys regroup together and be happy.
Well, I was thinking that when the fishman was outside and I'm like freaking out. We're like looking for him. I'm like, all right, either we're going to find the fishman or he's going to find it. But then you just had us meet up.
Yep, safely and soundly. And then you all got to escape together. So I guess a somewhat closing question after like going over all this, but is this a tabletop you guys could see yourself playing again in the future? Or is this like a one and done, I think D&D's better type thing?
No, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I had more fun than I thought I would have.
Well, you know it.
And I think I was skeptical about this whole online thing, but I think I liked having like fully seeable environments, you know, because with D&D you can only do so much.
Well, like a lot of D&D is in your head, you're imagining.
Yeah, but with this I can see it all, you know. I saw the boat, I saw it moving away, I saw the 3 fishermen coming at me.
Yes, sir. No, it is a different experience. As someone who was running it, I was kind of panicking a bit, but if I could do something differently, what I would have done is I would have had my laptop open. Because 2 monitors wasn't enough. Not gonna lie.
I had 4 monitors and it wasn't enough.
Daddy, like, I feel
there were
one.
moments. Sam suffering from success.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to figure out, like, I had notes up. I had to scroll through the notes. I was going to like stickies that I left myself, basically like notes where I was like, go here if you need to. I had my own personal notes pulled up where I had like where all the handouts were. It was basically me recording all the important stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I had the dice roller, and I also had to keep Owlbear Rodeo up. And I did bag fumble once because Jaxon was recording his POV. And there was a part where I moved like my stuff along, but I forgot to sync the view, so he was just looking at darkness.
I'm like, am I supposed to move?
I was like, that's on me. That's on me for forgetting to sync. But I'm glad that only happened one time.
Yeah.
The reason that I did that is because there were moments where I would unsync the camera and then I would scroll like to infinity to grab a token or something. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
I was thinking, I'm like the whole time, like, dang, this Caden guy, he can just see everything, For all I know, there's 500 fishmen surrounding me
in the fog of war. And that's part of the fun. Like, in reality, there were 3. And I was kind of keeping a vague idea of where they all 3 were. Like, there was one in the thicket. There was one that followed Sam after he went into the thicket. It was still looking for gold. It didn't really care that much. But then there was another one on the opposite side of the building. Like, it was you would have potentially heard or seen it if you guys tried to fix the generator. That's where you could have potentially like heard it or made notice of it.
Yeah.
But
I think final things, if you don't mind.
Oh, go
for it. Do you have more? Do you have more to talk about for this?
No, I'd say that's it. That's it for that.
Yeah, it was fun. I would definitely do it again. Final thing, it's Halloween season. I just got 2 questions. Your favorite? Yeah, maybe more like 4 questions. Rapid fire suggestion. Obviously we all like Dead by Daylight. Who's your favorite killer in the game?
You really had to ask this question, huh?
Is it OG or is it like licensed?
It can be either.
I'll say Oni's
Oni.
I Dredge for sure. For me, I love.
What was that you say about Oni, Caden?
I said Oni's good. Oni's based. I like Dredge a lot.
I think Oni's backstory is also just cool. Where he's like, yeah, I'm just this dick samurai that walked around killing people.
Yeah.
My boy Kaneki.
I had to think. The thing is there's so many killers I hate in the game. I don't know if I actually like any of them.
Yeah, no, I know I just got death threats from 90% of the DVD community.
Rest in peace. I hate Unknown. I hate Chucky. I hate Singularity. I hate Vecna. I hate
I'm trying to think. There's
Clown, Plague, Crow.
I'm trying to think. There's really only one killer that I just don't like playing against, but I haven't played against the new one, and apparently that one's busted as too.
I have not either. Let me ask the next question. Maybe I think. Favorite scary / Halloween movie.
Aliens, the second one.
I don't know. I don't really like scary movies, if I'm going to be honest.
Which is so funny to me that you don't like scary movies, but you do like scary games.
See,
is there a reason for that?
Well, okay, it could just be due to like limited exposure, but I feel like a lot of the scary movies that I've played have either been like, say, parody movies like House in the Woods, or like I've caught glimpses of other movies where I feel like the only point is just gore and stuff like that. But like the type of horror I really like is that real existential like Soma. So, and I haven't really had a movie scratch that itch. I've never really watched a horror movie that was scary in that way. It always just seemed like, oh, this is a blood and guts movie, and
we should have you watch The Void.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of that.
it's funny because I like kind of like scary movies, but like you, I don't like gore. I don't like supernatural. And then there's just kind of some other weird things. So I feel like that limits it so much. It's like, because like I mean, Sam knows this.
We watched Smile.
We watched Smile 2. We watched Smile 1, and that one didn't scare me. But then we went to Smile 2, and I thought it was the scariest movie ever.
One was scarier than 2, like just objectively.
I don't know.
Neither was scary, but I think 2 is scarier than 1.
See, I don't know. I guess what I'm gonna say is, out of all the media that I've consumed, none of the movies I've seen have been like deeply thought-provoking in the way that I like from the medium.
We should have watched like The Void or something one of these days. That's pretty good.
Sure.
I think for me, favorite movie is probably Alien Romulus.
I think mine. Romulus is good. That is a good one. I think mine. I'm oldie but a goodie. I'm going with The Thing. I love that movie so much.
The Thing was. I'd like probably say out of the movies that I'd seen, The Thing was one of the better ones.
The Thing's I like The Thing a lot.
And then
I've even seen the original.
The final question, and I think this one we all have a little bit more knowledge in. So I'm gonna say 3, so that you don't have to just pick one, because I know that might be hard. 3 favorite horror games.
So I have 3 favorites, but I've only played 2 of the 3, and I feel like I can't. Okay, yeah. So I'll start off with my favorite, which is Silent Hill 2 Remake. I haven't played the OG, but Silent Hill 2 was really good. My second favorite one, and I'm gonna get some flack for this, but it's a tie between Man of Medan and House of Ashes, because those are, in my opinion, the best anthology games. And third, I like the aesthetic of the games. I've never played one, so yeah, I've not played these, but I would love to play a Fatal Frame game.
Fatal Frame is interesting. I same. I've only watched John play them, but let's see here. That's gonna be a tough
I'm ready.
one.
If
you're gonna have to. I'm gonna have to get some time to think on that.
I'll go because I think I got 3. The first horror game I ever played, and I think you guys know because some of you were there at least. Resident Evil 7.
Resident 7 is a good one.
That was quite the experience. So I think that's top 3 for me. I think the one, whatever they're called, Supermassive Games that I made a video on, The Devil in Me. I really like that one. I know it might not be the best one of that series, but I like it a lot. I kind of go back and forth between all those games anyway. There was a little bit there that I thought Little Hope was the best one. And then upon replaying, I'm like, wow, this one sucks. So I think Resident Evil 7, The Devil in Me, and then I think probably the first game to give me nightmares every single time I played it. Silent Hill 2. That game was awesome and completely terrible. Because like I had played 4 Resident Evil games by this point, like 4 or 5. So I'm like, yeah, I know what to expect. Oh my gosh, it was so much worse than I could have thought. It was so bad now that I'm kind of a little worried that every time I go back to any other scary game, it's gonna be not as scary. Because like I'm playing Silent Hill F, and I'm like, there's been one part that's gotten under my skin. But besides that, I'm like, dude, this is kind of like...
To be fair, Silent Hill F is not scary. That game is not scary.
I think that when the Silent Hill 1 remake comes out, that's going to get you again. I think it'll get me too.
Yeah, dude.
Like, from the few things I've seen of the first game, it's like 2. It's as scary.
Oh yeah, speaking of scary games, I stream scary games every Friday night on my Twitch channel. You should definitely go check it out.
Not every Friday night, only Friday nights in the fall months. Very important distinction.
That's true.
All winter.
I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it rolling. Definitely not.
I gotta
All right, Sam or Rob,
Right.
if you guys are ready.
I'm ready to go. If you want a little bit more time, Rob, or you can go if you're ready. Okay, so I'll start off with Resident Evil. Good, fun, a little basic because we've all brought it up, but it's just a very good franchise. A horror game I played on PlayStation that I got for free, actually. It's called Gone Home, I believe is what it was.
Is that a horror game?
Technically, yes. It's they play a lot of games where there's not actually really a threat, but they play with like the sound, the lighting, and everything. Where they almost make the house feel like it's haunted, and it was actually a really kind of fun experience I had when I was in like high school playing that. And then I think for probably my favorite would be the Fear franchise. I really like Fear. I think all of them actually on Steam now. And it's just kind of a crazy story. Basically, you have to go in and you're investigating some stuff. You got to shut down. You're battling this lady who is kind of a reality warper, and things just get crazy.
Huh. I have to check it out.
You might like them because they're kind of like action horror, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That I can do with a lot better.
Considered a horror game.
What was it? If what?
I'm just looking through a list, and apparently Devil May Cry is considered a horror game.
That's crazy.
Devil May Cry is a fun game. It's not a horror game.
It's funny. I'm looking through the list of Dead by Daylight killers, and I'm just going, yeah, I hate that one. 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 So I'm gonna pick an unconventional pick and say Springtrap. I know it doesn't count, but
see, there's like a lot of ones that I'm scrolling through that I like wouldn't consider horror games. Like I don't know, like Oxenfree or Metro. Like Metro can get a little spooky, but I wouldn't consider it like a horror game. I'm just trying to think of my third one because my top two are Soma and Resident Evil 2.
No Amnesia?
Well, I like Soma more than Amnesia personally. I'm scrolling through. Dang, have I scrolled through the entire list? Why is Wolfenstein considered a horror game?
Oh yeah, honorable shout out to Choo Choo Charles. You know, it wasn't necessarily the most scary game, but that was funny. It was a fun game. A spider demon train entity.
Yeah, shout out to
it chases you.
Shout out to that one game I see people play, like for the brain rot clips where it's like the snake lady whose head just keeps going and it like chases you around at school or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It looks more goofy than scary, but I keep seeing that on brain rot TikToks and
Or like,
stuff.
have you seen the evil Michael Jackson game where he listens to your microphone?
No, that sounds kind of awesome. Have you seen the one?
I think it didn't start with him being Michael Jackson. I think it was just like a character that people thought looked like Michael Jackson.
So they made him
retroactively turned it into Michael Jackson.
There's one I think looks kind of cool where it's like they make it look kind of like a VHS like camera almost, and then like the game listens for your audio and like monsters will attack you and stuff. That one looks kind of interesting. You're investigating like a cult compound or something. I can't remember the name of it. I remember I saw it because I think it's in like early access or something, but I was like, that sounds kind of neat. Because it looks kind of like real, actually.
And if you want to, and you just got two, you can just do two.
Well, I'll probably have to. This is a tough question, man. This is a tough question. Because part of my brain says the original Silent Hill. And part of my brain wants to go back to old RPG Maker horror games. And then there's some games that are technically considered horror games that I just wouldn't consider horror games. Probably Silent Hill.
Just Silent Hill?
Yeah.
What were the other two?
Soma and Resident Evil 2.
I see. Yeah. A lot of scary games. A lot of them are fun. A lot of them are probably too scary for me. Well, with that said, any final remarks about Spooky Month and potentially why it's the worst holiday?
I love Halloween so much.
If you haven't, or if you have not yet thought to, the actual play of the Call of Cthulhu session will be uploaded. I'm sure it'll be linked somewhere on this video description. But if you want to see the live and authentic reactions to all the stuff we've talked about, you can go right over there, watch that, and criticize me for everything I did wrong.
That's true. Also, oh yeah, last thing, super quick. What are you dressing up as for Halloween?
Don't know.
I'm dressed up as Ninja from Mario.
Wario.
I'm doing a Farum Knight from Dark Souls 2.
Crazy. All right, last word, Sam. You have the last thing said on this week's
shout out to Over the Garden Wall, the Halloween episodes of Regular Show, and the Treehouse of Horror Simpsons stuff.
That's crazy. I'm cutting that out.